Okay, I think I've got it. It's a little different than the last one I did. How's everybody doing? I titled today's video for Transformation America, Rebirth of a Nation, because of the astrology that goes with it for our country. And I hope you can hear me. It's a new mic. I don't know if you've heard about the Pluto return for our country. And I wanted to talk about that and what it means for our country, for us, for Americans. And America has been going through this Pluto transit since 2008, and it actually ends January 21st of 2024. So basically for the past 15 years, our country has been going through a transition. And this is going to affect us on an individual level, because our country is made up of the people. Without the people as a group, you don't have a country, and what that really means. So this is about letting go of things that are holding us back from deep, meaningful experiences. Pluto breaks or helps us break through the illusions in search of the utter truth so we can evolve. And I made some notes right here, so I just want to read them. Pluto is in the second house in the astrology chart for our country, and this is the house of possessions, tangible and intangible. But what does this actually mean for our country? This is about what was valued and how that's being transformed. So such thing as our income, investments, property, debt, how we view money, wealth, and how we use them to define our value in society, individually and as a whole, and how that will be challenged going through this transformation. It also talks about secrets being uncovered, as well as crimes. Maybe people that are running this government, or that we've elected, fairly or not fairly. And I think we can see that has been happening over the past year. A lot of people that I've noticed, leaders are resigning. Companies are having employees that are being charged with crimes. So, transitioning out of the old system and the people that are taking advantage of their power. But the question is, how will we contribute to this major change and evolve to something that brings us a healthier and more balanced way of life for future generations to come? What makes this country great isn't the politicians, people that are in power, leadership. It's you and me, the men and women who work hard every day to make a good life for their families, to provide a home where they are safe, to live that life in peace. America is our home, and we decide together. We choose the laws and who will govern those laws. But ultimately, the people run this nation. But when power is put in the hands of a few, well, we know what happens. We're living it right now. The system is broken. Maybe it never really worked in the first place. But it's time we take our power back and build a new one. It's time to heal and renew our country and ourselves. To rebirth not just a nation, not just America, but you and me as a whole. To heal the past and the damage that has been done in over 200, almost 250 years. We know civilizations don't last forever. They fall. And because of mismanagement, mostly, people that have been in power, that have used their power to gain more power, to gain money. And from what I can tell, we're all responsible for what has happened to our country. And with this Pluto return, which it lasts till January 21st, 2024, this is our chance to wake up, pay attention to what's going on, and to get involved. Personally, in my opinion, I don't believe we need a federal government. We have state governments. Although they're not perfect, we can change that to make them better. And I don't believe in a two-party system. We should do away with that. And if you think about it, people have not been treated equally from the beginning. They may not have been the intention, but as we can see from history, we still have some of the same problems facing us today. And the government that we've had up to this point has basically double talked. One hand, they'll say that they're working on laws that are equal to everybody, but when you look around, it's not equal. Whether it's the money that's not spread equally because of salaries, the pay, businesses, people that own businesses, maybe not small ones, but bigger corporations, they get a lot of breaks. They make a lot of money off people's backs. And I think that, again, as a country, it's the people that make up the country, and I think that the division comes from putting us into groups, labels, and I don't believe that countries need borders. But the way the system is built makes it so that it's impossible to have open borders. And so that needs to change. Because if you think about it, they want to keep us in a cage, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So if your perception of a government, even in your own town, city government, all the rules and regulations pertain to that population, but if you really do have the people running things, it's not the law that rules the people, it's the people. But I think that has been switched to where the law of the land is what governs. And that's not the way it should be. And that's why we're in the predicament that we are at this time. I think we've forgotten that as human beings, too many laws and regulations get out of hand. We have no privacy. Can't even walk down the street without getting stopped for whatever reason. And I know most people that are peaceful. They just want to live their lives. Yes, you have people that want to impede on other people's free will and their right to live peacefully without being, bothered, harassed, abused. And I know the laws are there to help prevent that, but it just seems like we have more crime more than ever. And I also wanted to talk about a couple of things as far as our country and some of the history recently in the news. I do a lot of research, so I knew about the Georgia Guidestones for many years. So if there's people out there that were questioning, wondering what they were, I can tell you a little bit about it. And it's really, to me, it was a weird story. So these Guidestones were built in Elbert County, and some call it the American Stonehenge because of their resemblance to England's famous monument. The Georgia Guidestones were unveiled March 22nd, 1980. They were built to serve as a celestial clock, recording the passage of time through special features. However, they did contain a written message for humanity. Stonehenge is arranged in a circular manner, but the Guidestones are positioned in an X pattern, with each line of the axis oriented towards specific areas of the moon's annual rotation around the Earth. So the Guidestones' mysterious origins go back to the summer of '79, when a man who called himself R.C. Christian came to Elberton in search of both a granite firm to execute his design for a monument and a suitable site for the construction. So that wasn't even his real name. So he did get somebody to build them. It says the area chosen was in close proximity to what the Cherokee Indians called Ayali Alohi, the center of the world. The land on which the guidestone stood is owned by Elbert County. The inscriptions on the guidestones were meant for current and future generations to come. Sandblasted along the square capstone sitting on top the structure was the basic message: let these be guidestones to an age of reason. In Babylonian cuneiform, Egyptian hieroglyphics, Sanskrit, and classical Greek. And the 4 granite slabs, each weighing over 42,000 pounds and standing more than 16 feet tall, listed 10 guides for mankind in 8 different languages. The languages represented on the 4 major stones were Arabic, Chinese, English, Hebrew, Hindi, Russian, Spanish, and Swahili. The engraved messages dealt with 4 major areas: governance and the establishment of world government, population and reproduction control, the environment, and humankind's relationship to nature and spirituality. While some of the guides were self-explanatory, others were open to discussion and interpretation. So I'll read, there's 10 statements on these guidestones. The first one says, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. 2. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. 3. Unite humanity with a living new language. 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. 9. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And 10. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. So, I mean, these 10 guides for humankind can be taken negatively or positively. But usually the one that gets people is the first one, where it states maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. And I've heard different stories on what happened. I've seen the video, and you can't see anything on it. You can't see anybody there. It's just a flash. Actually, they have a light post next to the guidestones, and it's weird because as soon as the flash happened, the light brightened as well, and then you see the slab just crack and explode. But I heard a guy talk about it, saying he was in the military and he was experienced with explosives and things, and he said that it was not just ordinary dynamite. This was, I think they call it what did he say? Some type of energy weapon that may be from a plane or satellite. But it's conveniently not too long after the first video. They show a vehicle, car, and then someone very faintly running to the guide stone and then running out, which I think they doctored it so they could give us a simple explanation as to what happened. But the fact that they bulldozed the whole thing that morning, that's suspicious. That's for safety reasons. But and then now I heard that they're talking about rebuilding it. Also, when I researched more, I'm not sure if this is a fact, but I did hear that the county was given money to upkeep the guidestones. So it's been around since 1980. So for almost 40 years, they've been maintaining it, which is really weird. But I guess if they have the money, they're going to do it. Let's see what else. Well, the investigation is ongoing, it says. So you can look that up if you want more information. Another story I was looking at and I've heard people talking about is in Tennessee, and it's called the Norris Dam. The history says it was the first Tennessee Valley Authority hydroelectric project begun in 1933 and finished 3 years later on the Clinton River. This project relocated approximately 2,900 families and caused the removal of over 5,000 grave sites. So the name came from a guy named George W. Morris. He was a U.S. Senator from Nebraska. And this dam was built because to control floods in the area and generate electricity, and how it helps maintain navigation depth on the Tennessee River. What's interesting about this dam is that they did an excavation of the area, an excavation in which they did find burial mounds, found a lot of artifacts, but you don't hear much about it. The reason why people are talking about it is because of our history that's been hidden. And I did some research and looked at in the library in that town about any document pertaining to the area and the dam. And they even stated on there that they took whatever was there, maybe everything, but took some artifacts and things and the dam right on top. So everywhere in the United States, there are places that the federal government, a lot of the national park, it's said to have made history artifacts, but we can't go excavate or check it out because it's government land. The federal government owns it. the caverns of Arizona said that some Egyptian ties, but I don't hear anything about it, only through whispers. A lot of people go and check it out themselves, but unless they want to meet with the military, they probably won't find anything. So just stories like this, and I mean, you can dig things out for yourself. Our country has a lot of secrets, especially our history. We just know we're old, especially the public. They don't give you the information they know. If you don't go do thinking, you're not going to find out this information. And I know you're not into astrology, you can just skip this part, but if on the PLUTO Transit, I'm talking about and what PLUTO for the country. If you're rising sign, you'll alter what area of life this is probably affect you. And if you rising sign, and you go to astrology.com, your rising